Night comes, we fall asleep, but the mind is still active. Whatever desires were unfulfilled during the daytime become manifest at night in the form of dreams. Dreams so real, look so real when we see them. And we refuse to not believe it. We get carried away into it. And all the objects or people or situations that you want to see, you see them in the dream without going anywhere. You create butterflies, you create elephants, you create $1 million, you create your girlfriend that you cannot have. All the objects of desires come alive and you enjoy them. And yet, when you wake up, everything is gone. The slip is the situation where the dreams are created, all because of the power of your mind. The mind has limited capacity to generate these dreams, desires, and everything. But once we wake up, we realize it's an illusion. It never was. For that to happen, we require daylight. The Almighty Sun has to come and spread His glorious light. In that light, black becomes black, white becomes white. Until then, we are occupied with our dreams. In the dreams, a lot of crazy things can happen. Elephants can have wings. People you desired, they come and stay with you. When in the daylight they have no connection, things which are not possible, they come close to you in the nighttime. Weird dreams can happen. Things are not even practical. You can see them in the dream. So compared to the daytime awakeness, dreams look stupid. You can say that we are under the illusion during the dream time, during the night time. And our illusions are removed by the sunlight. Sun makes everything clear. Everything falls in its own place and you go back to your normal life. But I say, the sansar is still a situation of illusion. The sansar, as we call sansar, what we see, what we touch, what we hear, what we smell, all the objects, people, situations, they are nothing but illusion. But when we were seeing the dreams, we had no doubts about the reality of what we were seeing. The same way, during the daytime, when we see the world, we have a firm belief in the sansar. For us, it's 100% real. Dhyan takes you beyond the dream or the illusion called sansar as you go deeper within, the power of consciousness starts becoming more and more alive. Just the way the light of sun removed your illusions of the dream, the power of consciousness, power of awareness, which is ultimately coming from the universal consciousness, wakes you up and makes you realize that the sansar is an illusion. But for that, you need this light of universal consciousness, which is ultimate creator of this whole universe. So it is the most powerful light you can have. The only difference is the waking up from a dream sleep or a dream time to a reality. The sun is a gift of universal consciousness for us to make sense of the world. Once the sensible world comes up, the insensible, illusioned time of the dreams disappears. And we don't have to do anything. We just have to wake up. And we realize that it was an illusion. The universal consciousness can arise within us only with our efforts of finding it. Someday, in the future generations, it will not be necessary. Just the way we wake up physiologically, children will be waking up. Children will be being born as Buddha. All these multiple lives we have accumulated this wisdom. And now we have an opportunity to do the dhyan and invoke this universal consciousness. It will become part of our life. Once we become enlightened and wake up to the reality of universal consciousness, we will call this life as a dream. And there will not be dreams anymore. Just the way your daytime desires manifest in your nighttime sleep, your vrittis and vasanas are your desires which make you come back to the sansar again and again. Once the wisdom will reach to your maximum state, the inner consciousness will wake you up to the max. You will realize that your desires were meaningless because you were running after a sansar that was nothing but total illusion. Once this happens, the waking up, spiritual waking up will start and will reach to its max, and you will become Buddha. For your daytime awakeness, you need the borrowed light of sansar, which is the sun. For spiritual awakening, you need the ultimate source of light, which is the inner consciousness. Just the way daytime awakening removes the attachment to the dream objects, same way rising spiritually and getting the light of universal consciousness will remove your attachments to the objects in your day-to-day life, whether it's objects, people, or situations, and you become free. Then you become a spirit. Every object that we desire for, we think we're gonna use that object to get the pleasure out of it. We're not realizing that we're creating a bondage with that object, and then that object controls you. The more desires you have, more dependent you are, more bondages you have. Buying a dog means the dog is going to control you. Getting into habit of drinking, ultimately the bottle controls you. Eating desirable foods, they control you. Even while you're working, you'll be thinking about delicious foods if you like them. Your mind will be always restless by the objects, people, or situations of pleasure. But every pleasure brings the slavery. We look for these objects of desire as if we want to be handcuffed, except when the objects are likable, these handcuffs become golden. We are not only not complaining about the handcuffs, it becomes a show-off. We are proud to have a golden handcuffs. We brag about our pleasures. We brag about our possessions. We find company and enjoy one person boosting another person's desires and living the life of desirable things like alcohol, sex, drugs, everything. So if you really look at it, the whole world is a slave to something. All this slavery can be realized. It can be realized that your handcuffs, whether they are golden, diamond, or platinum, doesn't matter. They're still handcuffs. That can be realized only in the ultimate light of consciousness. So remove the ignorance of dreams with waking up state. Remove the ignorance of waking up state with real awakening, your spiritual awakening. Strive for it, work for it, and you will find it. Have a good day.